Are you struggling to grow dragon fruit? If that is so, this video is just right for you. First, let me take you on a tour of this trellis setup, then we can dive into the tips that I think will help you succeed. I have a trellis here that's standing about 5.5 feet tall with 4 different dragon fruits growing in a 25-gallon container here. As you see, I have 1 dragon fruit here that I need to harvest because this needs to go in order for all the energy to focus on growing the new dragon fruit here. Alright, number 1, my trellis. I have 4x4 treated lumber here that I cut 5.5 feet tall, standing from this 25-gallon container here. And then when it gets up here, I made a square shape, kind of a frame, and then secure it into this 4x4 post here. And as you can see, I also use 2x3s to make this frame around, so that way the dragon fruit can lean over and stay on. The next important thing when growing dragon fruit is to focus on one main branch from the bottom of the pot, or if you grow in ground, any suckers that grow from the branch, you must prune them and discard them. Otherwise, it takes all the energy and that main branch stay very skinny. If you discard them, then the dragon fruit can grow upward to the top of the trellis and becomes very thick and can hold a lot of energy. Then when it gets to the top, you can trim it off, and then you can multiply different branches to the top of the trellis and will droop over the trellis. When growing the dragon fruit, especially in container, you have to make sure the soil is very well drained. Check out my soil here. It's very loose and sandy. If I pick it up and ball it up and let it go, it's still very loose and it stays moist all the time. I personally recommend Fox Farm ocean forest soil, and you can use any soil you want, but I would also recommend adding about 30% sand, any generic sand, clay sand, any type of sand into your soil, so that way it creates a lot of drainage and make your soil very loose. A lot of you also ask me the question how often I should water the dragon fruit. Although that this may seem like a cactus, however, they are not to be treated like a cactus, and they require a lot of water. But you must be careful, because when you plant in the ground, here let me show you, the woody part of it is in the soil, and you must cut it so the meat, the flesh of the dragon fruit is above the soil. Otherwise, if you submerge this flesh underneath the soil, after watering, there's a risk of this rotting and beginning to kill your dragon fruit. Always keep your dragon fruit moist. Stay away from watering it in the winter, because the dragon fruit goes to sleep and they don't want to put out new growth. And if you do water a lot in the winter, chances are this will rot away. When it gets above 80 to 90 degrees, do water them every day though. So what do you fertilize this dragon fruit with? When it's not flowering, I love to fertilize with chicken manure. And chicken manure is high in nitrogen, and it also has phosphorus and potassium, a little bit more balanced than most other fertilizer, and the dragon fruit loves chicken manure. When I do fertilize chicken manure, just sprinkle around the top of the soil and mix them in. Then when it comes to fruiting season, I would use fertilizer of your choice that has high in phosphorus. That will encourage the budding of flowers and encourage the flowers to emerge from the branch. Another common question asked is, when is the fruiting season of dragon fruit? Dragon fruit flowers and buds start to form in the spring or late spring, depending on your climate. And then it takes about 45 days to fully mature and you can harvest. Then again, they can fruit again in mid-fall or so. So potentially the dragon fruit can give you flowers and fruits twice in a year. So the question is, how do you know when to harvest your dragon fruit? I found that 45 days is the sweet spot to harvest your dragon fruit. You can let it go about 50 days and that'll be okay, but 45 days is pretty good for me. This dragon fruit here grew over the winter, and I don't think it would taste very well because there was not a lot of sun, and I had this cover under the patio, so I'll harvest this anyway. The reason why I need to harvest this is because if I don't, then all the energy will continue to go here. If I harvest this, then all the energy will transfer and focus on the new flowers, so we have new fruit to eat, right? So let me just twist this, cut this open, and let's check it out. Let's cut this open right now. Look at this color. Look at that color. I don't think it would taste very good because it didn't get a lot of sun over the winter, but we'll find out. So we give this a try. There's no tart at all because I let this went more than 45 days, so it's fully ripe. Check this out. However, it's a little bit more watery than I would think. It doesn't have as much flavor. It's a little bit watery like watermelon, more than a dragon fruit, but it tastes sweet, no tart. Next tips I want to share with you is to prune the bottom of the dragon fruit. So when you cut this right here, now the growth stop here, and it will induce the dragon fruit to flowers from this branch. That's one method that I found very helpful. And you can see from other branches that I prune, flowers already form on those branches. The last tip I want to share with you is to remove any new dragon fruit branches. This growth will take away all the energy from the flowers, and when the flowers starting to bloom, the energy is still focused on the new growth and will abort all the flower. It will not turn into fruits. I have other videos on my channel covering from propagation to planting, building the trellis, as well as details on how to fertilize and grow dragon fruits. This video I made for you specifically some of the minor details that you might forget, although you've done all the important things correct, but the little things that you need to do, for example, removing the new growth in order for the energy to focus on the buds and flowers and turn into fruits for you. So check out my other videos, and thank you for watching this video. Please grow some dragon fruit. It can be very fun if you give it a try. If you have any question, leave it a comment down below and I'll make sure to answer any question you have. Thank you.